American people liked it, and we passed it, and the president signed it. That was actually the genesis. That was helped be an impetus to get the Ryan Murray agreement that actually replaced in part the sequester. That was so important to our domestic priorities here and to our national security. I just did a trip down to Fort Bragg a few months ago, and I found us further along in readiness, and it was very uplifting to see that we were further along in readiness than I thought because of this investment. So, you know, I feel that if there wasn't no labels, quite frankly, we have to create it. So, you know, I do want to address this issue because my opponent keeps bringing it up. He talks about ExxonMobil. You know who's part owner of ExxonMobil? It's right over here. It's right over here. So, you know, he talks about campaign finance reform. Look, I offered him the opportunity to lead on this. I said, let's have a proposal. Why don't we set, just like I've self-imposed term limits, I've said the most I'll serve is 8 years, even though I'm on a bill to actually make it law. You can imagine how unpopular that is. I'm like 1 of 10. But, you know, I said, let's not wait on a change of the law. I have written about what I think is important. And I said, Sean, why don't we limit how much we spend? Why don't we disclose, and why don't we reject all outside spending? And you rejected my proposal. You didn't even counteroffer. I thought you would at least counteroffer. We could have been a national race for the right reasons. Not when you made the news as one of the worst campaigns nationally. That wasn't a good way for us to make the news. We could have actually been a prime example for everybody had we actually done it. And I'd actually think about that going forward.
I'm very proud of the campaign that we have run. You know, we've been working hard in all 165 towns in 11 counties of this district. We've had more than 1,000 volunteers get involved to make more than 200,000 phone calls and door knocks. It's inspiring to me in a moment where there's so much cynicism about politics that we've had that much help. And you know why I didn't sign on to that agreement? Because at that same time as you were offering it, a super PAC was spending $400,000 attacking us on the air. And that's a super PAC that opposes raising the minimum wage, that supports privatizing Social Security, that wants to send jobs overseas and protect those corporate tax loopholes. Why are they supporting you? They're supporting you because you're standing up for them in Congress. There's been more than $1 million spent in outside groups and super PACs that are supporting Congressman Gibson. And you know, no labels is important, but how you vote matters. And voting to defund Planned Parenthood, and last week to say that you agree with the Hobby Lobby decision that says that corporations can pick and choose what part of a woman's health care, that's not no labels, that's not moderate. I'm gonna stand up and fight against that. I'm gonna fight for equal pay for equal work for women and the right to choose. It's 2014. It's
Look, first of all, I'm a strong supporter of equal pay, and it's already against the law. You know, the Civil Rights Act of 63 and 64, but to the extent that we can tighten up, sure. But the fact of the matter is we need to enforce it more. You know, Sean, you missed an opportunity because we didn't have to have that outside spending and to sign on to that. We could have gotten some really good national exposure for the issue. And, you know, quite frankly, some of these outside groups that you're bashing are Environmental Defense Fund and the Teachers Union and the building trades. So I don't know why you're going down. I don't know why you're going down. You know, and in terms of results, I'm the second most independent Republican. It's just a fact. You know, seriously. So, you know, I really fail to see the traction. I really fail to see the traction in your argument.
Okay, in this opportunity, we will give both the candidates a chance to offer a closing statement, and we will begin that with Mr. Gibson.
Well, thank you. And look, I think we need to reflect on what we heard here tonight. And what we heard is my opponent was not able to refute the fact that he's a hypocrite on practice. Finance reform. Look, he doesn't lead by example, and he had a real opportunity to do that. He's not independent, and he doesn't have a plan for the future, and he made false accusations that he couldn't carry. And you know, the fact of the matter is I've worked hard to bring people together to get things done. And there are results, they are there. And they include not only legislation, but also casework. I'm proud of the work we do here in Kingston. We fight hard for everybody, even people who don't vote for me. We try hard for you too. And you know, we work for projects like the Cultural Center. And look, I'm proud to have such an eclectic set of support. You know, you don't see this. I'm not sure there's another place in the nation where you see pro-business and pro-labor, you see environmental groups, sportsmen, and they're all back in my campaign. They must see something in my leadership, my ability to bring people together to get things done. So thank you, brother. Even people who disagree, thank you for coming. God bless you.
Well, look, I'm not gonna resort to the name calling there, and I think, look, people are very tired of that in our political system. I'll say this, votes matter, issues matter. And on your campaign website, there's not an issue section. If you go to your campaign website, no issues. You'll see the issues on ours. I think the issues matter. The issue of how we create good jobs, how we raise the minimum wage, how we protect a woman's right to choose and protect our environment. We're gonna focus on the issues. And if we keep the same leadership for the next 2 years that we've had for the last 2 years, we're gonna get the same results. We've gotta do something differently. I wanna bring some new blood, some newer energy, a greater sense of urgency to Washington. And I wanna work with all of you to make the change that I know so many of us wanna see. So thank you for being here. Thank you again.
Well, that was unruly too.
Wow, I'm exhausted. It's so frustrating because I really want to give them my all, and I'm so afraid I'm paying some attention to them and not